Namaskaram. We are happy to have Srimati Vidyashri Radhakrishna with us today. She is a Bharatanatyam soloist, teacher, choreographer, vocalist, and a profound Natwanar. Welcome to you, Vidya. How did you actually start your journey and what inspired you to continue in this field?
Having born in a family of artists and art supporters, learning an art was nothing special in my life. It was just a way of my life. My parents and grandparents were strongly connected with the art of Yakshagana. So, my father used to practice the Yakshagana songs a lot. I used to watch him a lot. I was just wondering for what purpose he was practicing so much being an amateur artist. So it was just in a kind of tapas, the kind of attraction or the attachment towards that art made him to practice so much. And even my mom, she also had good basics in Bharatanatyam. Actually, she is my first teacher who made me to take up Bharatanatyam. Yeah, that surroundings around me made me to think about taking up this art form, and actually it was a fun thing. My mom used to tell it with her friends. Even before I started learning Bharatanatyam, I started teaching Bharatanatyam to the furniture around or the plants around. So I think I had that strong calling inside me, and that made me to learn or start thinking about taking up dance and music simultaneously. And I should tell this, having born in a very small town, we didn't have anything which inspires or think about it seriously. It was just the strong feeling from inside that made me to think about it. And I had a very strong feeling about music actually. My mother used to tell that when I was just 5 or 6 years old, I used to sing Bhavayami Raghuram full with the Chittaswaras and all that, because very in our neighborhood we had a temple and they used to play that song daily. So without my knowledge, I got that sense, and I got that idea of singing and all that. And yeah, that is how I started. Maybe sometimes I was not so serious about that, but I was enjoying that. And even I should mention my grandfather. He was a very good Yakshagana artist. He used to call a lot of artists to our house, and it was just a natural happening. Every week he used to conduct some Yakshagana Talamaddale, and I used to meet a lot of stalwarts of Yakshagana. So I used to very eagerly listening to their talking and happenings about the Yakshagana around, and the way they develop a character, the way they go deeper into that story, and all that inspired me a lot. Even my grandmother, I used to just wonder, when she used to churn butter, she used to sing a lot of bhajans, and she used to just cry, singing about Draupadi and all that, Krishna, Krishna, she used to cry. I was just so touched with that, In my opinion, all the gurus with which I've learned are legends. They have definitely molded my art journey a lot. As I said earlier, I have learned the initial steps from my mother, Srimati Jayalakshmi Padmanabha Bhatt herself. And the very important aspect I learned from her is nothing but patience. How she handles her students, how she corrects them with utmost patience and that care, that I observed from her. And then my initial training was done by Srimati Nalini Baipaditaya at Sulya. I actually don't remember all those things I've learned. I was very young then, but still, I still remember the way she was appreciating me for catching the rhythm so fast and memorizing the items every day. So that made me to practice more and to be prepared for the next class. So definitely she inspired me a lot in a lot of ways. And after her marriage, I had to change my teacher again. Srimati Dr. Sita Kote used to come to our place, and she started her classes there, and I was really fortunate to learn under her. Her personality itself is so dynamic, I should tell. Maybe rather than dance, I was attracted to her. The way she speaks, the way she brings that sense of humor attracted me so much. And she used to take classes on Sundays. By the end of that week, maybe on Fridays itself, I used to feel so happy to join her classes on Sundays. So that was the days. That were the days that where I used to forget myself and just dance and be with her. Even she used to visit our house, and it was really a kind of Guru Shishya connection we had. And definitely I have learned so many things from her other than learning items. And after her marriage, again I had to change to a legendary Guru, Karnataka Kalatilaka Sri Muralidhar Rao. It was a different experience under him. I used to travel to Mysore we used to just speak hours and hours together. I was not just learning items under him. He was just exploring new things, explaining new dimensions in a particular line, the interpretations, the possibilities he used to teach, and that was completely exactly, I'm not even getting a particular word to explain that joy I used to had that time. And he was bringing all the real life experiences, real life examples into our classes. He used to make us respond to those things. It was definitely a different level of learning under him. Then I was feeling like I lack Nritta a lot. Then after his guidance, I traveled to Chennai, and I got a very great opportunity to learn under Padma Shri Adiyar Lakshman. Actually, I was around late 20s then. I was really, my body was not so ready to do all the basics under him. He was such a strict teacher, and he used to start adus, and he never, I don't remember he's stopping, adus in between. He used to just teach and made us to adu continuously. But still, that fire inside me to learn that purest form of Nritta made me to work under him. And the way he used to conduct classes, the way he used to inspire us, forget our physical pain and all that was such a tremendous thing, and I enjoyed learning under him too. I'm really fortunate to get him as my guru. And then I've attended a lot of workshops. Padma Subramaniam actually. For the dance field, she doesn't need any explanation. The whole world of dance knows her very well. The way she brings reality to the character, and the way she puts music into dance, those are the things I learned. I can't say I learned, I just observed from her. And yeah, and lastly, but very importantly, this opportunity to learn under Srimati Braga Bessel, I should not forget her, because the way she cared us, her students, is a different experience. And after learning under Sri Muralidhar Rao, I had a lot of ideas to develop an item, but I didn't have a correct way to exhibit that ideas. Luckily, I got Braga Akka, and I really learned that act of visualizing things from her. I was so fascinated when she was just transforming characters, the abhinaya, the natural feeling for a character, and so many things under her. And really, abhinaya is Bragaka. I can feel that, the way she makes it so simple and elegant. I think I have learnt a bit from her. And one more popular Bharatanatyam artist, Guru Srimati Rama Vaidyanathan. She is a legend, a magician by herself. I always say it in that way. Learning under her was a turning point in my life, actually. I had a very strong feeling to go beyond the lines and think out of the box, actually. That ideas got shape when I learnt under her. Actually, the way she makes the audience, and the way she presents that item is something different. And the ideas and the conceptualizing things is exceptional. That smartness, that brilliance she brings into her items, yeah, I'm really lucky to get that opportunity to learn under her. And also the thing I've observed in her productions or the items is the way she collaborates music and dance in such a beautiful way. Her music are always a gift to the field of dance, I should say. So whenever I travel, whenever I just think about the art or something, I keep listening to her music. And I should thank all these gurus for inspiring me and to engage myself into this field.
You have been teaching Bharatanatyam for more than 25 years through Gana Nritya Academy. Tell us about how did you start teaching and the path that GNA has taken over the years.
I started teaching from my very tender age, I should say, when I was just 16. Even that was also, a thing which just happened. I think I had a very strong calling for teaching things. I should say that my mom is also a teacher, my grandparents. So maybe that art of teaching came into me automatically or very naturally. When I used to go to classes under Dr. Sita Kote, she used to send some of her weaker students to me and give tasks to me to teach them the things and all that. I used to enjoy that work so much, and I was so serious to accomplish that task that teacher had given. So slowly Sitaka started looking at that talent of mine maybe, and she suggested my mom to give an opportunity to open a class and start teaching. And maybe at that time of that days in Sulya, there were not much opportunities to perform and exhibit our art. So teaching was the only activity which kind of made me to get in touch with this art. So that is how it started. And I was just teaching so seriously with that kind of commitment, whatever I knew at that time. And then after having all these experiences over the years, I kind of taking up it really seriously. I should tell, after marriage I took up teaching seriously. In that matter, I should thank my family and all my students and parents for supporting me so much. And I should also mention one of my lecturers, in Mangalore. He's the principal of my MBA college. He just called me one day and he suggested me to take up dance seriously and continue teaching and take up this profession as your mainstream and not to go with any other MBA oriented jobs. So maybe all these made me to think seriously about teaching, and of course I should also thank my students and their parents for having that trust in me and taking up all those opportunities we were given, and they used to travel with me to a lot of places, even so many remote places for performances and all that. All these experiences gave me that kind of joy and enrichment which made me to continue this process. As I said earlier, nothing happened as per any plan or thing. Everything just happened just like that. So many of my students, they were really so serious about this art, and they are still continuing with their academics and their jobs. I should mention those students, their effort and all that, because of their interest. I started giving more time to teaching and choreographing new things and making this pieces more interesting and all that. Yeah, it's like give and take. If the student has that interest, definitely we also teachers also get that kind of interest, and even teacher the profession of teaching makes us to learn more. That is another phase of this teaching, as per my opinion. Yeah, my students, their achievements, even if it is a small achievement or a great one, whatever the time they put into this art, like practicing or performing, I was just very happy about their achievements or the effort. So that made me to work more and more, and I should congratulate all those students who have participated in many of my performances and traveling around the globe, and continue by pursuing and also teaching to the underprivileged in many remote places around Karnataka, and in different ways. I always tell my students, you cannot be a professional, you may not be a professional dancer. It is all our destiny, I should tell. So even if you can't become a performer, you have to become a good audience, I used to tell. I tell to my student, because for the performance, for such art actually, dance or classical art, the audience also should have that ability to grasp or understand things. So for that we have to make a community in our place. So I think in a smaller way I am trying to make that community in Mangalore, and whenever my students appreciate classical performances and whenever they show interest watching classical performances other than this light movie based or simple things, when they get attracted more to classical arts, I feel very happy about them and I support them more and more.
We also know you as a vocalist and a profound Natwanar. How do you balance these along with your solo performances, group productions, and teaching?
Well, in my opinion, every dancer should have a deeper sense of music. A dancer need not be a good singer, but she or he should have a deeper understanding of music. And music is my first interest since my childhood. I always was keen to know more about the intricacies of music or laya. I always get attracted to percussion instruments from my childhood actually. So whenever I was given with some different patterns or laya stuff, I used to spend hours and hours together to clear those the calculations in that particular Korve or Jati. So that made me to think more about that and work more with Laya things. So as a teacher, one should have a deeper sense of music, Laya sense, and also a theory related stuff. And I think this profession of teaching itself made me to work with all these different aspects of dance. And one more thing, as I said earlier, I started my journey from a very small town called Sulya. There I didn't have any good singers or natwaners. So whenever I had to prepare my students for a performance, I was the only one who had to do all these jobs together. So already I had that interest and I was given with this opportunity. So I think I used it in the best possible way. I started singing to my students and I started doing Natwangam all together. And many of my friends and my teacher students also started calling me for their assistance. And these opportunities made me to work more and more with this field. And of course, along with my students, performances and all that, I started taking up music, especially the vocals, and doing Natwangam in a serious way. And I still continue learning music under Vidwanji Shrikant Gopalakrishnan Chennai. And I should mention a lot of great musicians from Bengaluru, from Kerala, from Chennai. They all gave me so many stuff regarding especially the Natya Sangeeta, the music for dance.
The last question that I would like to ask you is, what is your message to the young aspiring dancers?
Yeah. Yes, I always tell to my younger students to limit their attachment with the social media. Yes, of course, they can't be separated from this media because this helps in a different ways. But still, as an artist, giving time for practice or doing sadhana is the most important thing for an artist. So give more time to practice and read and research and study rather than commenting others or copying others and all that. So try to be original, work hard and have patience, true to be yourself. All these things I keep telling to my students and I try to follow those things as well. By saying all these, I should thank Nrityangan and Srimati Radhika Shetty for having time with me to share my ideas and experiences. I should specially mention Nrityangan for having me in a lot of ways and giving opportunities to share my art with the audience. And thanks to all my gurus and my family members and my students, my parents and the Kala Rasikas. Thank you so much. Namaste.